Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, 10th chapter, verses 60 to 30. Divisions of the creation. Text 16. The sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from these the elements are generated. The fourth creation is the creation of the knowledge and of working capacity. Text 17. The fifth creation is that of the controlling deities by the interactions of the mode of goodness, of which the mind is a sum total. The sixth creation is the ignorant darkness and of the living entity by which the master acts as a fool. Text 18. All the above are natural creations by the external energy of the Lord. Now hear from me about the creations by Brahma, who is an incarnation of the mode of passion and who, in matter of creation, has a brain like that of the personality of Godhead. Text 19. The seventh creation is that of the immovable entities, which are of six kinds: the fruit trees without flowers, trees and plants which exist until the fruit is ripe, creepers, pipe plants, creepers which have no support, the trees with flowers and fruits. Text 20. All the immovable trees and plants seek their subsistence upwards. They are almost unconscious, but they have feeling of pain within. They are manifested in variegatedness. Text 21. The eighth creation is that of the lower species of life, and they are of different varieties, numbering 28. They are all extensively foolish and ignorant. They know their desirable by smell, but are unable to remember anything within the heart. Text 22. O purest Vidura, of the lowest animals, the cow, goat, buffalo, Krishna's stag, hog, Gayava animal, deer, lamb, and camel are all have cloven hooves. Text 23. The horses, mule, ass, Gaura, Sarabha, Bishon, and a wild cow all have one hoof. Now you may hear from me about the animals who have 5 nails. Text 24. The dog, jackal, tiger, fox, cat, rabbit, sajaru, lion, monkey, elephant, tortoise, alligator, gosapa, etc. all have 5 nails in their claws. They are now as pancha nakhas, or animal having 5 nails. Text 25. The heron, vulture, crane, hawk, bhasha, bullock, peacock, swan, sarasa, chakravaka, crow, owl, and other are the birds. Text 26. The creations of the human being, who are one species, only one who stock their eatables in a belly, is the ninth in the rotation. In the human race, the mode of passion is very prominent. Humans are always busy in their midst and miserable life, but they think themselves happy in all respects. Text 27. O good Vidura, these last 3 creations and the creations of demigod, the 10th creations, are Vaiktra creations, which are different from the previously described Praktra natural creations, the appearance of the Kumaras in both. Text 28 and 29. The creations of the demigods of the 8 varieties, the demigods, the fourth fathers, the asuras or demons, the gandharvas and apsaras or angels, the yakshas and rakshasas, the siddhas, charanas and vidyadharas, the bhutas, pretas and pichashas, and the superhuman beings, celestial singers, etc., all are created by Brahma, the creator of the universe. Text 30. Now I shall describe the descendants of the Manus, the creator Brahma, as the incarnation of the passion of mode of the personality of goodness, creates the universal affairs with unfailing desires in every millennium by the force of the Lord's energy. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 10, entitled Divisions of the Creation. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Babaji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Swami Mataji. Gopijana, Priya Mataji. Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can please go ahead, Mataji. Mataji, you want to share your screen, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji. I can share. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. And just to do a brief prayer before we begin. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Bhashyatave Shadarine. Thank you, Mataji, for reading the translations today. So we are on the Canto 3, Chapter 10, entitled Divisions of the Creation. So we have seen the beautiful prayers by Lord Brahma to Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and also in this chapter, various inquiries by Vidura about Brahma's creation, how Brahma has created living beings from his mind, from his body, and Maitreya's reply saying that Brahma has meditated for 100 celestial years as advised by Supreme Lord, and he created 3 divisions in the lotus, and again further 14 divisions in the lotus flower. And Vidura was inquisitive about knowing the time, what is eternal time and its characteristics. So Maitreya also explained about the definition of the time, that is eternal, Kala Shakti of Supreme Lord, and in 3-4 verses in this chapter, but he has dedicated the full chapter to describe the characteristics of the time and different planets in the next chapter. So about the time, what he said was that time is representative of the Supreme Lord, and it is explained basically 7 characteristics here. The impersonal, it is impersonal, and it is a representation of the Supreme Lord, and it is the cause for all the material manifestation. That is the because if you see in the universe, there are different planets, and different planets have different time durations. Heavenly planets have much more time than us. Human calculation of the time is different from the heavenly planets. So that is the time Kala Shakti that is operating there. And further he said that it is unmanifested, and it is also the source of the interactions of all the material modes from Mahatattva too. So time is the Kala Shakti is the one which agitates the material modes, and then Mahatattva will be formed, and again by the influence of the time, false ego and mode of goodness, mode of passion, all different elements get manifested because of the influence of the time, that is the representation of the Supreme Lord. And further Further, Maitreya explained about the types of the distractions, Kala, Dravya, and Guna. And also he explains more about the annihilation. We will hear more about the annihilation in Canto 12, 4th chapter as well. But here it is a summary of those annihilation is given in this chapter. And further, Maitreya was explaining about the types of the primary creations and the types of the secondary creation, that is Sarga and Visarga. And yesterday we have seen the first two creations in the Prakruta Sarga, that is Prakruta Sarga is the creation by the Supreme Lord. Vaikruta Sarga, that is Visarga, that is done by Lord Brahma. And there are 10 types of creations. Out of those 10, we have seen two creations yesterday. One is Mahatattva and the second one is the false ego. So Mahatattva is the it is the sum of all the material ingredients, and false ego again it comes from the Mahatattva by the modes of interactions by the influence of the time. Those are the two creations. And from today's verse 16 onwards, third creation is given that tanmatras are created in the third creation. The sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from which again the elements are generated. That is, if we see that first tanmatras and the elements. And then the fourth creation is that the creation of the knowledge and the working capacity. That means that here in verse it is given Gnana Kriyatmakaha. That means knowledge acquiring senses and working sense, knowledge acquiring senses and the action senses. Those are created as part of the fourth creation. So the first 6 creations are done by Supreme Lord. That is using his external energy. And text 17, the fifth creation is the creation of controlling deities by the interaction of the mode of goodness and the mind. So that is the fifth creation. And the sixth creation is tamas, that is ignorant darkness of the living entity, by which the master acts as fool. So here Srila Prabhupada has given a purport for this verse. There are not many purports in this section, but wherever purports are there, we can discuss a little more. So here Prabhupada is saying that demigods in the higher planets are called devatas because they are devotees of the of Lord Vishnu. Here he referred to Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asura Tad Viparyayaha. That means all the devotees of the Lord Vishnu are called devatas, and all others are demons. Those are asuras. We know that how devatas are situated in mode of goodness, and they have devotion for the Supreme Lord. And whereas asuras, they are situated in mode of passion or mode of ignorance. That's why those are called asuras. And demigods are very powerful. They are directly engaged in the service of Supreme Lord, and they are the controlling officials for different departments as far as the universal administration. And also not only that, they are controlling deities of all our senses. We have working senses as well as knowledge acquiring senses. So for each of the sense, a controlling deity is predominated. For example, here Prabhupada gives example of eye. The sense organ eye, in order to see, we need light. So light is produced by sun. So that's why for sense organ eye, sun is the controlling deity. As well as for the mind, the controlling deity is moon. Like that, for all the senses, we have controlling deities who help us who help the senses to perform such actions. And so that is the fifth creation, how devatas, the controlling deities as well as mind is generated. And the sixth creation is ignorant darkness. So after creation of the demigods, all the living entities are covered by darkness of ignorance. So because they have the mentality to lord over the material resources, so Supreme Lord is creating the ignorance, the tamas factor here, so that they will forget their real identity and they will lord over the material nature. And we see that because of that, they develop the false proprietorship and possessiveness for the material things, and they will, by that they can fulfill their desires, the material desires. Here, if we see that Maya has three conditions. The first condition is the pradhana. The pradhana is basically generating the elements from Mahatattva up to earth, so that it is real. It is not unreal. It may be temporary. It is temporary, and it manifests and unmanifest, but it is real. The pradhana aspect. The second aspect of the Maya is avidya potency. That's what in the next paragraph Prabhupada explains. Material nature is called avidya, whereas for devotees the same avidya it acts as vidya. That is given in Bhagavad Gita also, that how Lord transforms from Mahamaya to Yogamaya to his devotees. And that is the second aspect. And this avidya has 5 types of ignorance. Those are by which the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with Supreme Lord. Those are attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, and false identification. So these 5 kinds of illusion causes the material bondage. These are avidya aspects, 5 types of ignorance or illusion. And vidya potency that helps us to destroy all these 5 types of ignorance and engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, wherein avidya will transform into vidya potency. The same will act. Basically here what we need to understand is the same potency, avidya potency, will transform into vidya in case of few devotees, whereas for non-devotees, materialistic people, they are under avidya potency of the Maya. And 18. So far we have seen 6 creations. Those are done by Supreme Lord, that is Prakrita creation. And here Brahma creates 3 more creations. Those are called Vaikrita creation, that is done by Lord Brahma. So we will see what are those 3 in the subsequent verses. So Lord Brahma, he uses mode of passion in the matter of creation, has a brain like that of the personality of Godhead, that is Harimedasaha. So Lord Brahma has is very intelligent, and he is empowered by Supreme Lord with his own intelligence, Harimedasaha. And 19th, 7th creation is mentioned here about the immovable entities. Those are basically plants and trees. These are 6 kinds. The first one is Vanaspati, second one is Oshadi, Lata, Tvakshara, Virudho, Drumaha. That means that Vanaspati, those are plants with fruits, but they don't have any flowers. We may have some examples for those. Second one is Odashi, that is basically annuals where we will replant them every year. Those are called Oshadi. Those trees have, those exist until the fruit is ripe. The creepers is Lata, and pipe plants is bamboo trees. Creepers which have no support, those are bushes. And trees with flowers and fruits, that is 6th category, Drumaha. Those are trees. And in the 20th sloka, it is mentioned about the nature of those immobile entities. Those are trees and plants. their nourishment is upwards. We know that how trees and plants, they take the nourishment from the roots, and it spreads all over until the top. And they're almost unconsciousness, but they have feelings of pain within. They're almost unconscious. That is Tama Praya. But they have feelings of pain. They're manifested in various varieties. That is the first creation by Supreme Lord about the trees and plants. And the next creation, eighth creation, that is lower species of life. They are numbering 28. We will see what are those 28 in the next verses. And they're extensively foolish and ignorant because those are animals. And what they know their desirables by smell. We have that experience, how they smell, and they will know, even if the ants, if there is any sugar, they will come and eat. So dogs, all these animals, they know their desirables by their smell, but they are unable to remember anything within the heart. So that is the purport. Srila Prabhupada has given that he has referred the Veda in the Vedas. The symptoms of the lower animals is described. So they just have hunger and thirst, and they don't have any knowledge. They don't have any future vision, what will happen next, and they don't have that vision. So their behavior is, they don't have any formalities, and they're extensively ignorant. They know the things by smell, and so by which they use the smell to understand what is favorable and what is unfavorable. So their knowledge is concerned only with eating and sleeping. And here Prabhupada says that even the tiger, that is very ferocious animal, so it can be tamed by simply supplying some food to that and accommodations for sleeping. And Prabhupada always mentioned about how human life is very important, and animal lives, their knowledge is only concerning about eating, mating, sleeping, defending. And if the humans are so doing the same thing, there is no difference between the human being and the animal. So he emphasizes in many purports about the importance of the human life, the purpose of the human life, and it is meant for self-realization. And we need to use that intelligence for the higher purpose. And we have that verse here in this section also. And what are those 28 different types of categories are further explained here. So these lowest animals are cow, buffalo, Krishna stag, that is black deer, hog, gavya animal, deer, lamb, and camel. So these are categorized in one category, which have two hooves. So their hooves is split into two. So this is categorized under Dvisapaha. Sapaha. That means two hooves on their foot. And 23, these are Eka Sapaha. That means one hoof is there for this category of these animals. Those are horse, mule, ass, Gaura deer, Sarabha, bison, and a wild cow. All these have only one hoof. And Maitra is explaining that here about the animals who have 5 nails. So here the next one is the animals list which have 5 nails: dog, jackal, tiger, fox, cat, rabbit, sajaru, lion, monkey, elephant, tortoise, alligator, gosapa. So these all have 5 nails in their class. They are known as Panchanakas, are animals having 5 nails. So far he has given 3 categories. One is having 2 hoofs animals, and the other one is 1 hoof animals and 5 nails animal. And the next category is the birds. That is 4th category under the animals. I mean, we sometimes say that birds are different category, but here Maitreya is explaining under the same animal category because they're aquatic birds. That different types of birds are also categorized here. The heron, vulture, crane, hawk, basa, baulika, peacock, swan, sarasa, chakravaka, crow, owl. All these are birds. Yeah. And these are the four categories, and almost 28 are mentioned here under the lower species of second creation of Lord Brahma. And 26, here it is mention of human being creation, where the nourishment goes downwards. The food, we eat food using our mouth, and the food goes to our belly, and the energy goes to all parts of the body, right? This is the only species which the nourishment goes downwards. All other either upwards in case of trees and plants. For the animals, it is horizontal nourishment. This is the ninth creation, the human beings, and they're in mode of passion is very prominent. And humans are always busy in the midst of miserable life. They think themselves happy in all the respect. Even though they are in miseries, they think themselves that they are very happy. We can understand this very easily because we see that how many miseries are there in this material world, but people think that they're happy. They will find some happiness in that. So here, dukkecha sukha manina. Even though they are in complete distress, they think that dukkecha sukha manina. They feel that they are happy. So in the purport, Sri Prabhupada mentioned about again human life and it's important. But how they're using their human life is also pointed out here. So they're very passionate than the animals. And even their sex life is also more irregular. But in case of animals, they are very disciplined in that aspect. They have 2 times for sexual intercourse, and but human beings have no regular time for such activities. But the human being is endowed with higher and advanced stage of consciousness for getting the relief from these material miseries. But due to his ignorance, how he uses his higher consciousness? He uses his higher consciousness only to comfort his material life with eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. He uses the higher intelligence and the consciousness that is awarded to the human being. He misuses that. He misunderstands and he misuses that. So instead of using that for spiritual realization, he uses his advancement for the material comforts. So thereby what happens? What is the result? He will get into more and more miserable condition. But what he is thinking that he feels that he thinks that he himself is happy, even though he is in the midst of misery. Yeah, that is the condition of the human being. And 27th, the 10th creation is so far we have seen 6 creations of Supreme Lord and 3 creations of Lord Brahma, that is Visarga. And the last one is called 10th creation, that is considered as both Prakrita creation as well as Vaikrita creation, because the example is given here, the appearance of Kumaras. Kumaras, when they appear, is when Lord Brahma has meditated upon Supreme Lord in his mind, then Kumaras have been generated. That means that Brahma is participating in that, and also Supreme Lord has helped for the Kumaras generation. That's why it is called dual creation, both Supreme Lord as well as Lord Brahma. And 28 and 29, and demigods of 8 varieties. The demigods creation here is mentioned. There are 8 varieties. The demigods, the forefathers, the asuras, the Gandharvas and Apsaras are angels. The Yakshas and Rakshasas, the Siddhas, Charanas and Vidyadharas, Bhutas, Pretas, Pisachas, and the superhuman celestial singers. So these are created by Brahma, the creator of the universe. And we see that the sense devatas are created by Supreme Lord. And we even heard the personified elements prayers to Mahavishnu in the previous chapters. And here this creation is done by Lord Brahma. All the other devatas, different 8 categories, that come under Vaikrita creation. In the purport, Sri Prabhupada mentioned about the Siddhas, how they're very powerful and they can transfer from, they can travel from one planet to another planet without need of vehicles, without any space vehicles also. They don't have any difficulties for Siddhas. And also the inhabitants in the higher planetary system, they're far superior to the human beings in terms of the art, science, knowledge, and also their brain is also very superior to the human beings. And here one category is mentioned about Bhuta, Preta, Pisachas. Those are also superior to human beings because they are more powerful than humans and they can perform uncommon functions that is not possible for men. And last sloka for today, 30th. And now Maitreya is saying that after explaining about both the creations, primary as well as secondary creations by Supreme Lord and Lord Brahma, and he's saying that I will explain you now about the Manus and how Lord Brahma has created this universal affairs in every millennium. And even Vidura has asked this question about explain me about different Manus and how they have ruled this universe. He wanted to know about the incarnations in each Manu and Varnashrama system. Different questions asked by Vidura in the 7th chapter of 3rd canto. So now he is going to explain about different Manus in subsequent chapters. And the next chapter is about the calculation of time from the atom. So he is expanding about the time and characteristics in the next chapter. And we will hear more about time in the next class. I thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity and association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Jai.
Gopijana priya Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.